Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a tutorial showing how to do this eyeshadow look. And I used the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette to do my eyeshadow today. This is the first time I'm using it, and after using it today, I'm really impressed by this palette. I know that it had a whole lot of hype about it this past year or the past few months, and I'm very happy with this palette. I just think that the colors are so pretty and they're very pigmented and they blend very easily. It's really pretty. Like, there's so many shades. I know some people might be afraid because of the pink tone shades over here, the berry shades. There's just I think there's a wide range of colors in here, and you get transition colors and shadows to deepen the look and make it look smoky. So overall, I'm really happy with this palette. So if you would like to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. So I already applied moisturizer and primer to my face, so now I'm going in with foundation. I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation, and I have the shade Warm 1-2 in Porcelain, I believe. And I'm just applying this all over my face with my finger and then blending it in with a beauty blender. I'm using an Ulta brand beauty blender, and I've been really liking this one. It works pretty similarly to the Real Techniques beauty blender. And then I just needed to apply a little bit more product to my forehead because I noticed that this foundation, even though it is a luminous foundation, it does dry pretty fast, so I would recommend working in sections when you're applying it. Then for concealer, I'm using a combination of the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer and then the Catrice Cosmetics Liquid Camouflage Concealer. And I'm applying the concealers to my under eye area and then any areas of my face that I need to conceal or highlight. And then to blend out the concealer, I'm just using my beauty blender from Real Techniques again. And I have been really liking the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. It has really good coverage and it doesn't look cakey and doesn't crease very much. And it's really easy to blend out. So I would really recommend this concealer, especially because it's very affordable. It is one of the drugstore brands at Ulta. Then to set my face, I'm using Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, and I'm just using this to set pretty much my whole face, including my under eye area. I have been using the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil lately rather than my NYX Studio Finishing Powder, just because I noticed that the NYX powder does make my skin look more matte, and since I'm using this luminous foundation today, I kind of want to keep that luminous or dewy look, so I wanted to go with the Mineral Veil because that keeps your skin looking a little bit more hydrated and less matte, if that makes sense. Then to do my brows, I'm going to use the NYX Micro Brow Pencil and the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara, and they are both in the shade Chocolate Brown. And then for brow powder, I'm just using this dark brown shade from the Carli Bybel palette. So now moving on to eyeshadow, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and I just got this for Christmas and I'm so excited. I love this palette. I've been wanting to get this palette for a long time. It's so pretty, and I've seen so many pretty looks on YouTube on other people's channels. So first I'm going into the shade Burnt Orange, which is this kind of orange tan shade. And I'm using this as a transition shade for my crease, and I'm just using the brush that it comes with. And then on my lid, I'm applying Bon Fresco. And this is a really pretty kind of like pale lilac shade. I'm applying this all over my lid and kind of mixing it in with the transition shade where it meets my crease. And I was really surprised when I applied this shade because even though it is a pretty pale pink shade, it has so much pigmentation to it and it blends so easily. And as you can see, it's just so buildable. Usually with a shade like this, I wouldn't expect it to apply so well and to be that vibrant and to be able to see it that well. But the Anastasia shadows, I was so surprised they are so pigmented and easy to blend. So this is actually the first time I've used Anastasia's shadows before, and I'm really impressed by them. I think they're probably my favorite eyeshadows right now. And then I'm going into the shade Red Ochre, which is kind of a burnt reddish brown shade. And I'm applying this on the outer corner of my lid, and I'm just kind of patting this on and then sweeping it into my crease. And add a little bit more. So I'm using this shade to kind of deepen the crease and deepen the outer corner. So there is kind of a gradient effect from the Bon Fresco, which is that like lilac shade, to a deeper reddish purple shade on the outer crease. And then going into the shade Cypress Umber, which is a dark brown shade, I'm just very lightly applying this to my outer corner. I barely put any product on the brush because it is so pigmented. I didn't want to deepen it too much. And then I'm lightly applying this, whatever product is left on the brush, into my crease. Then going into the shade Raw Sienna, I'm just adding a little bit of this to my crease kind of close to my brow bone to blend out the colors so it doesn't look too harsh. And then I'm going back into Bon Fresco and applying this to my lid just because blending all those darker shades kind of took away a little bit of that lighter lilac color, so I want to just add a little bit more. And then I'm going back into that Red Ochre shade just to deepen out the outer corner again because some of the product kind of blended away. And then I'm using the shade Vermeer, which is kind of a pearly, shimmery shade. I'm using this to highlight my inner corner. And then I'm going back into the shade Raw Sienna with a eyeliner brush to line my lower lash line. And I'm kind of just smoking this out just to kind of add some of that lighter brown shade to my lower lash line. And then I'm going into the shade Cypress Umber, which is that dark brown shade again. And I'm applying this to my lower lash line, but closer to my waterline. It's not actually on my waterline, but it's closer to my waterline. And then I'm taking the shade Tempera, which is a highlighter shade. I'm applying this to my brow bone. And then to line my eyes, I'm using the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. And this is in black. And to do my wing liner, I typically start by drawing in the wing. And I kind of apply it by extending the line from my lower lash line up. And then just kind of making a triangle. And then I kind of just extend the line to the rest of my lash line into the inner corner. But the line towards my inner corner of my eye is a lot thinner. I mean, this is kind of obvious to some people that have done their eyeliner before, but just to kind of explain how I do it if you are a beginner. And then for mascara, I'm using the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. And I really like this mascara. It works really well. It really builds up your lashes and makes them look very voluminous and also lengthens them, but it doesn't clump too much, and it's just very easy to apply. You don't need to apply like a ton of coats. I do about 2 or 3 coats usually. I'm trying out the Anastasia contour kit to contour my face. I'm using this middle shade right here to contour my cheekbones, but I wasn't really liking how it was applying. I didn't feel like it was doing very much, so I went into my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer instead, just to kind of bronze up my face. And I like how it smells. It smells so good. It just smells like tropical coconuts, kind of. It smells really good. And I love the undertone of this bronzer because it's not too cool and it's not too warm. I think it's perfect for contouring your face and bronzing it at the same time. It doesn't look like too orange or too gray. And I'm just applying this to my cheekbones, to my forehead, and then along my nose to contour it a little bit. And then I went back into the Anastasia contour kit and used the light highlighting shade to brighten my under eye area. And then for blush, I'm just using this Tarte blush, and I love this shade. It is a perfect nude kind of peachy shade, but it doesn't look too bright. I love using this, especially when you are kind of doing a bold eye look and you want your cheeks to look very natural. And I'm just applying my blush with a stippling brush because I feel like it works better for me because I don't like it when there's too much blush applied to my cheeks. Then I'm using this vintage illuminating blush. I believe I got this in my BoxyCharm box a couple months ago, and this is a pretty kind of rosy highlighting shade. I'm just applying this to the high points of my face. Then for lipstick, I'm using this Revlon lipstick in the shade Primrose. It's a pretty pink color. It's not too bright. It's kind of a cool toned pink. And then to top my lipstick, I'm using a lip gloss from the brand Shea Moisture, and I will list the color down below, but it's kind of a just pretty peachy nude shade. So that completes this makeup look. I really liked using the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. It's probably one of my favorite palettes now that I have, and this is the first time I've used it, but the shades are just so pigmented and pretty, and they blend so easily. And overall, I think it's a great palette, and the colors are so beautiful. So I think there's a lot of great looks you could do with it. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!